I've heard stories about the island and I've seen the calligraphy on the wall.
What story do you remember hearing?
I'm not sure, actually. But I do know that my great-grandma came here only for a couple of days.
Oh, wow. Cool. So how old are you right now?
11?
11. Do they teach you this in school?
No.
No. Well, should they?
Yeah.
Слыхала сироту, приучила и согрела, и поездила ему. Положила спать в постельку, как тепло промолвила, закрыла и улыбнулся.
And I think I wanted to share in the looking back at history with my father, and I'm really glad to have my son come along with me, and my other brothers did, and we brought all of our family. That's just part of our family history. So we really just felt it was important and it was just great to come out here and wanted to see it.
Well, when I was younger, I didn't really know anything about it, and then, when I was in elementary school a long time ago, we decided to come here and just see what my grandfather went through, and it was just really interesting since it's not only is it part of my grandfather, it's part of me as well. So, and I thought it was just really interesting, seeing what happened to my grandfather.
I think it makes it very real, when you are able to preserve something that everybody beyond our family is able to see. It gives realness to when you see the physical barracks where people passed through, where they stayed. It's significant, and then you can begin to understand what history was all about. So this is very real in terms of being able to see. So I think just to be able to see the barracks makes history come alive.
2 days go by, he get on the little boat go to San Francisco. He say, hey, I'm already here 2 months. How come he can go San Francisco? So somebody told me, because American people don't like the Japan people, they don't like them either. But have to give some respect. Because Japan have a war with Russia, it's 1905, and Japan win. So Japan have a navy, Japan have an army. They have to respect them.
I'm anxious about the renovation because it's going to draw a lot more people here. And those of us, my wife and I, both of our parents were detained here at widely different times, and along with a lot of other people, we feel we have a story to tell.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's why we're glad to see the renovation completed, finally, of the barracks at least. And we're anxious to, as I say, tell the story when people come through.
Well, Angel Island, in Ellis Island, it was more of a place to process people through, and it was more of some people were sent back for health or other reasons, but it was a place where you came through and you were entered a life. Here, it was a whole different story. It was a story of prejudice in terms of putting people through incredible kind of experience about trying to justify their appropriateness for here. So this is really a sad chapter in Americans' history of prejudice that exists today, and being able to get people to understand what that meant and how it relates to today's story of immigration is something that has a powerful sense of learning and teaching for people.
Because you have the same facilities that people went through, They invoke the emotions. People can actually come into these buildings and feel what someone might have felt. At Angel Island, by walking through the barracks, by walking in the footsteps, by standing in the places where the immigrants were detained, you can imagine what they might have been feeling. And I think that's incredibly important to understanding the whole story.
At State Parks, every day we're finding more stories that we need to tell of the diversity of the people that live in California. And it's an evolutionary process for State Parks to uncover all the stories of the different groups, because we sometimes tell the stories of the major groups that were here, but then we neglect to tell the stories of the hidden stories. And so we're really trying to promote that more and more. The stories of a lot of different ethnic groups in California tend to get buried, and at State Parks we have a responsibility to tell more and more of those. And that's why we're so excited here at Angel Island Immigration Station, is to tell these very powerful stories of different groups where it really was hidden before. We have walls that talk at this park, and there are very few places that have that kind of living history.